a threat hunter, the general description of it, and threat hunting is, by the way, a relatively new thing. Most of the time, in the cybersecurity world, there's an offensive security analyst or a penetration tester that does ethical hacking. Their job is essentially to look at vulnerabilities and prove that they're exploitable so that they can notify an organization of the things that they need to fix. And on the flip side of that, there's incident responders where, they're unfortunately the people that have to help the organization to identify the threats and the issues that have already occurred. I, on the other hand, being a threat hunter, is in the middle. Primary job of a threat hunter is to proactively search for cyber threats that are lurking undetected on a network. So no one's called an incident responder quite yet, and no one has actually done a sanctioned penetration test. Our job really is to look at the network and see if there are hidden attackers in the network that have stayed on the network to essentially find information or other pieces that they can leverage against the company in order to either carry out the stealing of data, the stealing of credentials, or ransomware for that matter, right? So our job really as a threat hunter is to look for those indicators of compromise or artifacts that would lead us to believe and find the threat actors before they do further damage. That is a typical Tuesday, to be honest with you. And for the most part, by the way, there's two forms of threat hunting. There's doing a compromise assessment, which is essentially where a threat hunter is now on the receiving end of a confirmed breach and that they're trying to find where the compromises are on the network. Mm-hmm. And the proactive threat hunt, where essentially we're looking for the bad guys before they can do damage on the network. And threat hunting is becoming more and more prevalent in the industry, just because of the fact that, before ransomware occurs, and I wanted to state this clearly, ransomware is usually the last thing that ever happens. And it's usually a situation where a bad guy or a malicious actor has already been in the network and they've been sifting data and they've collected information, they've exfiltrated it and sent it off to their servers. And then they hit you with a ransomware to extort you for your funds. So our job really is to make sure that it doesn't get to that point, or depending, I guess, on when we're called in. If it's proactive, it's better. When it's reactive, it becomes a more high stress situation.